All right, Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, and salutations to you, Akim, that pushes word and truth and in sincerity. Coming back with another lesson. And, this is a snippet from, not a snippet, but a video that is on the To Through and Information page. And it says prepare for war. Which, that's what we have been telling, these nations through prophecy. All right. First and foremost, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai has been telling these nations through prophecy to prepare for war. And when we tell people, family members are out on the highways and hedges and prophesying these things, back in the days, 2007, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, people couldn't really see it. They thought we were tripping. They thought we was crazy when we would read the prophecies pertaining to America being nuked, destroyed with thermonuclear fire. People thought we was crazy, man. And even now, despite there being a whole bunch of information, and even the mainstream media about nuclear war, people really can't wrap their mind around it. They hear it and they hear it, but they just can't. They don't really actually think it's gonna happen. But the prophets, we see clear as day, and we know it's gonna happen. All right, we know it's gonna happen. All right, but even here, in this snippet right here, this video, these two individuals is letting you know that, it's gonna go down, man. All right, so I'm gonna play a little of this, and then I got another video I want to play a little bit of, and then I want to grab from scriptures. All right, to edify and wrap it up. So let me play this.
We're introducing a resolution today, since the Senate resolution that says that if Russia or Belarus, or a proxy of Russia, explodes a nuclear device inside of Ukraine to stop the counteroffensive or to try to break the will of the Ukrainian people, such an attack should be considered an attack on NATO itself.
All right, so did you hear that? He said that if Russia or a proxy of Russia pretty much nukes Ukraine, then they consider that an act of war against NATO itself. All right, now we know that the Ukraine is not part of NATO. You know what I'm saying? The Ukraine is not part of NATO, and we know that the U.S. a lot of times do false flags, or even they'll nuke themselves. The U.S. is not above nuking a region of Ukraine themselves on purpose, and spinning the story, pointing the finger at Russia, and using that as an excuse for NATO to actually go to war with Russia. All right, taking the gloves off, saying fuck the proxy armies, because them Ukrainians is getting obliterated. All right, so we know how America gets down, man. All right.
We're of the belief that a nuclear weapon unleashed in Ukraine would irradiate large portions of Europe where we have NATO allies. And why are we doing this? President Biden says threat of Putin using tactical nuclear weapons is real. That's like the 20th story down. So with a sense of urgency, we're urging our colleagues here to get serious about what could happen in Ukraine. Moving the tactical nuclear weapons out of Russia to Belarus was unnerving and I think very provocative. The counteroffensive is moving slowly, but steadily. They're looking.
All right, so there's more to that. I'll leave this in the description box. Real quick, let me grab this. Revelation 11 and 14. It says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right, those are talking about real wars. So World War II happened already. All right, and we're in the midst of World War III. It's not at its peak. All right, it's not at its climax. But you know we're in the beginning stages of World War III. All right, so World War II was from 1939 through 1945. All right, September 1st, 1939 through September 2nd, 1945. All right, so when you think about it, that wasn't really all that long ago. Okay. It was what was it? It was 78 years ago. All right, there's people on Earth that's over 78 years old. All right, that was alive during that time. All right, so once again, Revelation 11 and 14, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right, now this is juicy right here, man. So listen up.
Again, is coupled with just the sick notion. I mean, Ukraine keeps saying we want to be a member of NATO, but Ukraine has to understand that the United States and NATO is operating under a George Soros-driven notion that speaks of the need to have an Eastern European manpower pool that will be married to NATO technology to threaten Russia. If you understand what I just said, Ukraine will never be part of NATO because they are simply the meat that will be attached to NATO technology to weaken Russia. So our grand strategy of using Ukraine to weaken Russia, combined with Ukraine's sick fantasy of somehow gaining control over these former territories, all lead to triggering Russia's nuclear response. We're committing suicide as we speak, and people need to wake up and understand this, that the policies that the United States and NATO are pursuing right now are policies guaranteed to result in a Russian use of nuclear weapons. And now,
you hear this, man? This dude is a retired military official too. All right, I believe he was a Marine. So he knows what he's talking about, but he said this is guaranteed. It's a guarantee that the way America is the trajectory that America is taking is forcing Russia to use nuclear weapons, man. All right, and this is all biblical, man. So this is all the spirit of the Lord that has these Edomites doing this, man, to fulfill the Lord's will. Okay, let me read this scripture real quick. Isaiah 24 and 18. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. So just how the Most High opened the windows to allow the flood to happen, to allow that water from space to overwhelm the earth and flood the earth, the same way the Lord is going to allow those thermonuclear missiles to leave out of the earth's atmosphere at a certain height and then drop right back down into the earth's atmosphere to specific cities, man. Okay, and that's why the foundations of the earth is gonna shake. All right, thermonuclear fire is gonna make the earth shake, make it Harlem shake. All right, it says the earth is utterly broken down, and the earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. All right, and what can make the planet Earth move exceedingly? Thermonuclear fire, man. All right, nukes going off all over the planet. Okay, when you watch these movies, or like they had the Black Mirror episode, season 6 episode something. I forget the episode, but a brother on the chat had posted that, and when you watch it, it shows you know, I believe they were over in England. It shows England getting nuked. All right. So anytime you see these movies, or go on YouTube and watch a nuclear detonation, they got videos of it. Or not a nuclear, it was a atom bomb, I believe. It causes the camera, the camera's at a far distance away from the epicenter of the nuke, or the bomb, excuse me, the atom bomb. But once that blast wave comes, the camera, as far as it is, it starts shaking. Okay, so if that's an atom bomb that's doing that, or causing the camera to shake, that's miles away. What do you think is going to happen when all of America is nuked with 200 million missiles, as well as various parts of the earth nuked with missiles as well, with nuclear missiles as well? All right, it's going to cause the earth to be clean, dissolved, and moved exceedingly, man, as the prophecy says. Verse 20 says, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. So the transgression of this current world that we live in, we have to suffer, we see, it's at a point to where it's going to cause it to be burnt. And this structure, this system is not going to rise again. We ain't going to see it again. All right, we're going to see complete righteousness in the earth after this. All right, which is something that we drastically need, man. All right.
Russian strategic theorist, historian, and academic Sergei Karaganov has just written an important piece. And what's important about this is that his opinions are listened to, and they are reflective of mainstream thinking in Russia. And he said it's time for Russia to change its nuclear posture into adapting its own preemptive policy. And it's time, if NATO...
Right, because Russia doesn't have a preemptive policy, strike policy pertaining to nuclear war. And preemptive meaning, just like, for instance, you think somebody gonna hit you like a stare down, you know what I'm saying? You think, like two boxers, right, staring each other down at a weigh-in, and one boxer thinks that the other boxer is gonna hit him, so he's preemptive and he socks him. You know what I'm saying? He preemptive. Okay, I'm gonna hit you before you hit me. That's the policy that America has. All right, but Russia doesn't have that policy. But this individual that he said that just wrote this new piece is like, fuck that, man. We need to take that notion as well.
NATO in the United States continues to pursue these nuclear posture into adapting its own preemptive policy. And it's time, if NATO in the United States continues to pursue these policies, that Russia preemptively uses a nuclear weapon against NATO and compels the United States to consider, are we willing to exchange the city of Boston for the city of Poznan? That's a Polish city that, under the Karaganov theorem, would be struck preemptively with a Russian nuclear weapon, sending a signal to NATO that we're done playing games. The question now is, what would an American president do when that happens? Would the American president be willing now to commit to defend Poznan, defend Poland, defend NATO with an American nuclear response, knowing that it would cost American cities? And that's a fair question. And the fact that the Russians are considering this, are bantering this about at the highest levels, means that we are losing.
Do you hear this, man? This is juicy, man. Oh, man, this is... Barakatah Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. Man, do you hear... Man, it's like, man, shit. This is good news, man. This is great news. This is leading to our salvation, man. The fact that two Edomite powerhouses are talking about wiping each other off the face of the planet, according to prophecy, man. That's it's a blessing, man. Call Allah and Yahweh Hashem Yahushai.
Would the American president be willing now to commit to defend Poznan, defend Poland, defend NATO with an American nuclear response, knowing that it would cost American cities? And that's a fair question. And the fact that the Russians are considering this, are bantering this about at the highest levels, means that we are losing control of the nuclear genie. Roger Waters wrote a song, Two Suns in the Sunset. And there's a chorus in there, the rusty wire that holds the cork that keeps the anger in gives way, and suddenly it's day again. That rusty wire is real. That was the arms control framework that people like myself and others put in place with the Intermediate Nuclear Forces Treaty, the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty. That's gone. The rusty wire is about to give way, and it's over, ladies and gentlemen, over. And it's happening now in front of us as we speak. We have a president who when he was a senator in the Senate, was never right on any national security issue. Just ask, Robert Gates, former defense secretary, said Biden was wrong on everything. Well, he's now the commander in chief, and once again, he's wrong on everything. He's surrounded himself with people who are likewise wrong on everything, who have imbued themselves with this dangerous fantasy that America can impose its will, and we are compelling Europe to commit suicide in Ukraine, and in doing so, making possible the notion of a Russian preemptive nuclear strike against a NATO ally that could bring the United States in. This is real. I agree with President Biden at this point in time. This is as real as it gets, and it's happening right now in front of us, and we're sleepwalking through this. We, the collective West, don't understand what's happening. And by the time the lights go off, it's going to be too late, because the lights going off are going to be the thermonuclear warheads landing in the vicinity of your neighborhood, and you'll have about a millisecond to reflect on, oh, damn, we were foolish, before you're evaporated. This is as real as it gets.
Woo! You hear that, man? Hey, he was explaining that with some passion, man. The lights going off is Americans being evaporated, man. That's the judgment of the Lord, man. All right. Now, he mentioned that people were sleepwalking. So let's go here. And the main people sleepwalking is Israelites. All right. So this is Isaiah 6:9. It says, and he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. All right. So despite us prophesying and explaining to our people what's going on, they don't understand and they don't perceive, man. Verse 10, make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert and be healed. All right, because turning to the Lord will actually heal you. You actually understand what's going on. You have a better understanding of prophecy, of why things have happened, why things are happening, and what's gonna happen. Okay, Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times. All right, you'll be stable. All right, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Salaki. Okay, you'll be healed. Verse 11, then said I, Lord, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate. So that's how long these Jakes is going to be blinded here in America. They're going to be blinded until them thermonuclear warheads, like that individual said, like that man said, is landing in the vicinity of your neighborhood and blowing your ass to evaporating you. All right, turning you to angel dust. So like that's an inside joke, man. All right, hold on. Okay, yeah. All right, now my next precept is Jeremiah 50, and starting here at 13. Jeremiah 50 and 13, and it reads, because of the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. All right. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against Yahweh. Now, who's to say, because the scriptures say that the beast shall hate the whore. The beast being NATO, all right, is going to hate the whore. Now, who's to say, like the individual was saying, what if, and this is just me, just speaking as a man through the Spirit. What if you did have, Russia preemptively shoot a nuke somewhere in a European country or a NATO country, or even in Ukraine, right? And then that gets the attention of NATO, and they want to cease. They want to ceasefire, so to say. They don't want to retaliate, and they want to pretty much call a truce, so to say, or whatever with Russia, or and America want to keep pushing the issue. So they're like, man, you know what? We're gonna nuke your ass. You know what I'm saying? That's not in the scriptures, but what if that was the course of action that actually happened to to make NATO, the beast hate the whore. We know that's gonna happen, but exactly how it's gonna happen, we don't know. We shall see here very soon. All right. But all the nations is gonna put themselves in array against Babylon, and they ain't gonna spare no arrows. None. All right. It says, shoot against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of Yahweh. Take vengeance upon her, as she hath done, do unto her. All right. So the same way America has been being the police of the planet Earth, telling these nations what they can and can't do. All right. Using their new weapons in these various countries. Whenever they come up, these private companies that come up with some new technology. America, whatever war America's in, that's where they try out their new weapons, man. And they've been doing that for a long time. So these new weapons and new missiles, and because you got Iran that just came out with a new hypersonic missile a couple weeks ago. Best believe they're gonna use that. When the time is right. So it says, cut off the sower verse 16, cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn every one to his people, and they shall flee every one to his own land. And that's what's about to happen, man. You're gonna have these nations, these so-called East Indians and Arabs and Armenians and Chinese and Japanese and Polynesians and Africans. All right, a lot of people are gonna start going back to wherever the fuck they came from when they see that it's serious with these nations wanting to nuke America. All right, but this is all the recompense of the Lord upon Babylon the Great for everything it's done in the earth, man. All right, 2 Peter 3:6. It says, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. So this was the first mass death of the planet Earth. But the heavens and the earth, which are now, by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. So that fire is coming for ungodly men. And if you're here in America, when the nukes go off, all right, if you end up in that fire, you were a super ungodly man, all right, especially being an Israelite. If you're an Israelite and you die in thermonuclear destruction here in Babylon the Great, you were a complete reprobate, all right. Verse 8, it says, but beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. All right. That's pretty much the point on that. I mean, there's more, but this serves the point. Sirach 16 and 18, it says, behold, the heaven and the heaven of heavens, the deep and the earth, and all that therein is, shall be moved when he shall visit. All right, and that's talking about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. When Yahweh Shai comes back to the earth, all right, the scriptures say in Hebrews that the Lord is a consuming fire. The Lord's Spirit is actually going to be in that nuclear fire. Shalakia. That nuclear fire that hits the earth, the Lord's Spirit is going to be in that. Okay? All right, it says that all this is going to be moved when he shall visit. It says the mountains also and the foundations of the earth shall be shaken with trembling when the Lord looketh upon them. All right. So when the Lord touched down to cause hell, all right, everything is going to be moved, man. All right. The Lord's presence on this earth is going to shake shit up. All right. So, I just want to bring that out, and like this title says, oh shit, this is about to get much worse. It truly is, man. Matter of fact, let me run this back. All right, these Edomites are scared, man.
This is real. I agree with President Biden at this point in time. This is as real as it gets, and it's happening right now in front of us, and we're sleepwalking through this. We, the collective West, don't understand what's happening. And by the time the lights go off, it's going to be too late, because the lights going off are going to be the thermonuclear warheads landing in the vicinity of your neighborhood. And you'll have about a millisecond to reflect on, oh, damn, we were foolish, before you're evaporated. This is as real as it gets.
Hey, man, so Lord willing, this was edifying. Until next time, shalom.